Arsenal 3, Manchester United 1. Arsenal back into the top 4. A super game of football to watch, Shaka, and a huge 3 points for the Gunners.
It really was. Given what we've seen from Arsenal a few weeks ago leading up to that Chelsea game, it's been an incredible response. That they're now throwing on the gauntlet for Spurs to match. I think the result effectively rules Manchester United out of any further top 4 finishing discussions. But as you described it, Mark, it was wild and really could have gone any way. In the end, it's Arsenal 3-1, and there's a feel to it, just given that scoreline that Arsenal dominated and were at home and were so good as they were. But truth be told, we could be having the exact opposite of a conversation around the result. Manchester United easily could have won this themselves.
2-1, Arsenal, 57 minutes, penalty awarded. I'm not sure why Tavares thinks putting his hand in the air from a corner is a good idea when he's trying to defend it. It hits his hand, it's a penalty, and Bruno, who's normally so good from the spot, misses. How big a miss could that end up being? Because as you quite rightly said, this game could easily have finished any way of 3.
That miss was huge. First of all, let me give Ramsdale some goalkeeper appreciation. I think he stands up so long, despite the jump, that Bruno Fernandes, a little bit of doubt creeps into his mind, and he feels that he has to hit it right into the corner and pulls it just a little. So that's my goalkeeper appreciation statement for Ramsdale. But and I think why it's as huge as it was is Manchester United were on top. Arsenal were in total disarray at that point. Coming into the halftime break, Arsenal were in disarray. After the break, Arsenal were in disarray and Manchester United were on top. And it only looked like Manchester United were going to score. Then that penalty miss, and I felt you saw heads go down. I felt you saw Manchester United start to believe that it was going to be another one of those days. And in the end, that's exactly how it turned out. Because let's keep in mind that before that penalty miss, Manchester United rattled the woodwork a couple of times. You see a couple of very good penalty calls get waved away. You see one equally soft to get awarded for Arsenal. And you just start to think that this isn't going to be our day. And from then on in, I think the game turned and Arsenal certainly got themselves back in it. And then the Granit Xhaka strike just sealed the 3 points. But up to that point, I thought that Manchester United would at least get a point, probably deserving of more. And I say that. We talk about that penalty incident, the one given for Manchester United. Arsenal themselves had one. I'm a little bit on the fence with that. But then I don't know how you give that Arsenal penalty and not give 2 further from Tavares, who openly scoring in the first couple of minutes, we have to say, but then quite easily could have conceded a hat-trick of penalties, 1 given, 2 fouls on Elanga, 1 in the first half, 1 in the second half, that the referee just waved away. Given how soft the Arsenal penalty was, if you're Manchester United, you feel a little bit cheated.
Bukayo Saka, after everything he went through in the Euros and missing a penalty in the shootout, he scored last time out for Arsenal from the spot, and he scored again. Talk to me about the mental fortitude that takes to have such a low and still have the courage to put it behind you and try and not forget about it, but to use that to inspire you to score the next time. And he did today.
It's incredible, and I'll be honest, I don't know how you do it. I'm not sure that I could have. Alan Pardew, who I played with at West Ham, always spoke about the naivety of youth. That West Ham team in 2005, 2006 was a very young team. And he always spoke about youth and not maybe recognizing the gravity of situations that they find themselves in. And that's all I can put this down to. That Bukayo Saka is so young that maybe he doesn't really appreciate the level he's playing at, the pressure he's under. I don't know. I'm really scrambling to find an explanation, because what he endured, 9-10 months ago, after the Euros and that penalty miss. How he responded is beyond. I say this sincerely. I don't think I could have handled the pressure that he would have been coming into the season with, and how he's continued to just flourish over the course of this season. But while you say that, a couple of things that I want to bring up. And we often talk about fans and fan behavior, and that again was brought into the headlines, given what Harry Maguire had to endure, which no footballer should have to. No footballer should have to endure. But we saw something similar with Bukayo, Saka, and the other players, the other black players who missed penalties with the Euros. You saw how the football fans responded to Bukayo Saka returning to training at Arsenal. Yep. You also saw how the fans responded in the 7th minute, as they had done last week, rallying around Cristiano Ronaldo, a visiting player. That is fan power at its absolute best. So often we talk about fan behavior being at its worst and stomach turning in some of their behaviors. But when we see fans respond in a moment, as we've seen around Bukayo Saka and today around Cristiano Ronaldo, I am happy to step out of my crease and give them and applaud them as they should be.
Well, so often, Shaq, it's the village that's missing the idiot who then, in the minority, is the one that makes the headline, or the minority of people, whether it's a small group. They shout the loudest. They're the ones that do the naughty things, the bad things, the illegal things, and they're the ones that attract the attention. So thank you for bringing that up. And I want to continue the narrative from Saka through the fans to Ronaldo in the 7th minute to Cristiano Ronaldo himself. You've spoke about what Bukayo Saka went through last summer. This is totally different what Cristiano Ronaldo has gone through over the past 7 days. The mental strength and what he has gone through to now score and get his mind not fully focused on football, because you're never going to forget something that's happened that him and his family have been through. But talk to me about Cristiano Ronaldo, his goal today, and what he has been through recently.
I spoke about this in the lead up to the game on ESPN FC last night. First of all, let's say, let me just be frank. What Cristiano Ronaldo has had to endure is unimaginable. And thank God it's not something I've ever had to deal with. I hope nobody out there ever has to deal with losing a child in that manner. I cannot imagine just the mental pressures that Ronaldo has had to feel, had to endure during the course of this week. And while I have had some personal issues to deal with, nowhere near, I say that again, nowhere near the magnitude that Ronaldo is dealing with right now, I've always been able to find some kind of an escape in going onto the field. Somehow, during that 90 minutes, you're able to divorce yourself from reality. Whatever else is going on in your life away from the football field. And you welcome that escape. And I reiterate, while I have absolutely no idea how you deal with that level of a personal tragedy, I can only assume that coming onto the football field allows Ronaldo for at least 90 minutes to put that tragedy behind him, to dedicate that performance to his son, who he so sadly lost. And then you see who the man is, who the footballer is, step up in the manner that's needed. Despite what's going on, knows exactly what this club needs of him and delivers. So in a similar fashion, probably in an even greater fashion than we've just been discussing Bukayo Saka, I have absolutely no idea how you deal with it. I have absolutely no idea how Cristiano Ronaldo continues to be the example that he is, to recognize the moment that and as he's needed, and deliver in the way that he continues to do. I really wish I could frame this better. I really wish I could speak to it. I take that back. I do not apologize for not being able to speak to it in a more meaningful manner, because as I say, it's something you do not wish on anyone on this planet. But thank goodness for people like Ronaldo, who shown us what true resolve really, really looks like.
Well said. And he was denied a second goal by the narrowest of margins with an offside call and then confirmed by VAR. And who knows, probably him on penalties next time after Bruno's miss. I want to end, Shaka, with a comment you made earlier saying that's Manchester United out of the race for a top four finish. Does that therefore mean it's a head-to-head between Arsenal and Spurs to finish fourth? Or can West Ham, even although they're behind Man United right now, be a third contender for fourth place?
I don't see West Ham getting back in it. I think their focus, and understandably, is firmly on the Europa League right now. Their league form has been slipping, so I don't think there's been any conversation for quite some time. I think the most amazing thing about this top four race is that Manchester United hung around for as long as they did, and before kickoff, yes, they played a game more than both Spurs and Arsenal, but they were only 3 points behind. I think, given how poor they've been, given how much criticism we've leveled at Manchester United, that it's amazing that they were still within touching distance. But now, having played a game less than Arsenal at least, and now 6 points behind Arsenal, I just feel they've run out of games in terms of trying to turn their own form around and getting back into this title race. The baton now firmly over to Spurs to respond. You're right, it's a two-horse race as far as I can see it, and one that will go neck and neck down to the wire.
Therefore, this was a big win for Arsenal. Super game at the Emirates finishes Arsenal 3, Manchester United 1.
Thanks so much for watching ESPN on YouTube. And for more sports highlights and analysis, be sure to download the ESPN app. And for premium content and live streaming, subscribe to ESPN Plus.